What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. Welcome back to the training in our Ivy League Admission Secrets Facebook group. Today, we're going to talk about school clubs and activities, which to join and avoid. Right now, it is beginning of September. That means school is back in session for a lot of our amazing students here in the chat. If you guys would let me know, for those who are here live, let me know what grade your child is in. Are you guys in ninth grade, in 10th grade, 11th grade, or even 12th grade there? So go ahead and drop that in the chat for here if you are here live. And for those who are joining us from the future, what's up? My name is Coach Tony. I'm one of the college admission advisors here at College Admission Secrets. One little fun fact, I actually used to be a former UC Berkeley admissions reader at Berkeley. So I read apps, said yes or no to a lot of students. I think 20,000-ish students was my time there. I started to learn a few things, right? Why yes kids get a yes, why no kids get a no. I eventually got to work at UCLA. I was a director over there. I even opened up my own high school a few years ago, and I became TikTok's first college admissions partner, which is actually super, super cool. So for me, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Every single year, we've been sending students to the Ivies and the Ivy Plus colleges. These are the top 20, top 50 colleges in the nation. So one thing you'll learn really, really quick, pretty much all the schools are looking for the same framework. That's the big thing, right? All the schools, whether you want to go to a local state school, to a top private school, or the Ivy League schools, the framework is the same. The framework is the big kind of overarching factors. What makes the Ivies a little significant is they want to see a little extra thing on there in addition to every single thing else. So if we say, hey, to go to a top private school, you need a level 3, you might need a level 5, right, for an Ivy. That's kind of what that means when it comes to the Ivies specifically. And today, we're going to talk about one of the 3 pillars. So kind of let's take a step back. There's kind of 3 factors, right? Really quick, those who are watching me live, is the font good? Is the font good? Is it too small, too big, just right? Let me know. There's 3 factors in the admissions process, right? The first factor is going to be the academics. Second factor is going to be the activities. Third factor is the application itself, right? Think of anything, any part of the admission process, it falls under one of these 3 areas. And if it doesn't fall under one of these 3 areas, it's not that important, right? So I think that's the big thing to keep in mind here. Today, we're going to focus on the activities in particular, right? Again, for those who are new here, right? The activities is the second most important part of your entire application itself, right? Academics, while important, not the most important. Again, the most important is going to be your applications for seniors. If it is you're watching this live, you're probably right in the middle, right, of your application. Some of you guys are trying to beat the clock. Next month, you'll be submitting, next month or two, you'll be submitting your early action, early decision schools to some of these colleges. Some of you guys are going to wait till the fall, not the fall, sorry, until January for the regular applications, right? Either way, you guys are in the thick of it. That is the most important. Make sure you get that right. But today, we're going to talk about the activity. So if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, this call is perfect for you here. And those of you in middle school who are tuning to this live or watching the replay, right? Something to keep in mind in the future. One of the fun facts that a lot of people know, people always say like, hey, let me just wait till high school. Let me wait till high school and we'll figure out then, right? In fact, fun fact, especially with the Ivy bound students, a lot of our Ivy bound students start with us in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, because one of the things that you can do is you can leverage activities that you start pre-high school. Again, think about it this way. Most students will say, I did 4 years of blank, which is in high school, 4 years of blank. However, if you know the tricks, you can actually leverage more years. 5 years, 6 years, 7 years as well. Someone said I should have started in middle school, and never too late. We can always start from here on out. Again, this becomes a little easier, right? The sooner you start, just the easier it is in the process, because the longer you wait, just the more stress becomes on. So that comes into the picture. So let's talk about this, right? So there's 3 factors of the admission process. Activities, what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus today specifically on clubs and activities. Again, activities is a big, broad spectrum. In fact, how we define activities is how you spend your time, right? People only think it's only clubs, right? No, those of you who are doing sports, that counts as an activity. Those of you who do volunteering outside, that counts as well too, right? If you work, that counts. You have hobbies, by the way, that counts as well too. So activity is how you spend your time outside of school. Outside of school is probably a broad term. Classes, homework, sleeping, right? I always throw the word restroom. Can't count restroom time, right? But classes, homework, sleeping, restroom. Outside of that, potentially that is your activity hours, right? This is, and then so one of the things right away, one thing we want to do is we want to use this as an opportunity to maximize our time. Time is going to be a big component of this process here, right? So when it comes to typically like these higher end schools that you're playing for, we tend to recommend that our families aim for 20 plus hours of activities per week. This is a per week thing. Again, some weeks gonna be crazy. You're gonna have a lot more. Some weeks are super chill. You're gonna have a lot less. Your goal is the average. When you fluctuate the averages, right? Aim for 20-ish hours. This is more for like the top like public schools in the nation, right? If you're aiming for Ivies, we tell a lot of families aim for 30 plus hours of activities per week as well too. And some of you guys, holy moly, Coach Tony, I can't. There's not even enough time in 30 hours. I'm like, actually, like a fun experiment for you guys to do. Do the math, right? And do the math is kind of what I would usually say for those families, right? There's 168 hours in a typical week, right? That's 24 hours. 24 hours times 7 days a week. 168 hours. I think my math is correct there. And then from the 168 hours that you guys have, 8 hours per night is sleeping. Can't negotiate with that. Typical school week, what, 6 hours times 5, 30 hours hours of school per week. Can't really argue with that either, right? Homework, some of you guys fluctuate here, but let's say 3 hours a night. 3 hours is fair. 3 hours times 5, 15 hours of homework per week, right? So per week, let's make it consistent. 56 hours of homework per week, right? Sleeping, of sleeping per week as well too, right? So there's this, and there's a few. I always call it me time, right? Again, I'm not here to make your like the students' lives miserable. I want them to have fun. So let's say 2 hours a week, 14 hours. I call it me time, right? Me time is time that you scroll TikTok, Netflix, whatever you do to float your boat, right? Is the thing there, right? Do the math here. When you do the math of all this, again, you can factor in other things too. But when you do all this math, you roughly have 40 to 50 hours left remaining, right? And what you want to do is, as a reader, we're looking at how are you spending your time, right? Outside this, again, because in today's world, right, everyone is smart. Everyone is smart. You can't, it's hard to outsmart somebody, right? So what do you do, right? What you want to do is, again, we want to see is how you spend the rest of your time outside of school, outside of your activities, specifically there. Okay. So that being said, right? That being said here, let's jump into the main thing, clubs, right? So what is a club? A club by definition is gonna be is one thing that makes here is that the club is a gathering of people with the same interests and goals, right? That is pretty much it, right? That's gonna be the big thing here. So when it comes to a club, it's a gathering of people. You think about any club at school, right? There's Key Club, right? What's there? There's Key Club, there's ASB, right? Some of you guys have Gamers Club, some of you guys have Model UN Club, have a robotics club, right? Think about it. It's a group of people who have the same interests and goals, and you're doing the same things, right? That's pretty much what a club is. So when it comes to clubs help a student define their interests, right? Hobbies, right? That they enjoy, right? Is it okay? Real quick in the chat right now, live chat, is okay to be to have multiple interests and hobbies, right? Is okay to have multiple interests and hobbies. We'll go ahead and drop a yes in the chat if that's okay. Drop a no if no, absolutely not. You can only have one interest and one interest only. All right, thank you, chat. Right? Yes, the answer is well, yes. You can have multiple interests. Now, here, take this. Is it okay to have diverse interests and hobbies? Meaning, can I do the robotics club and do key club and do speech and debate and do all these different things that are a little different from each other? All right. Answer is yes. Again, at the end of the day, right? We are human, right? Because we are human, right? Because we are human, it is okay to have diverse interests and hobbies, right? That's gonna be the biggest thing to keep in mind here, right? It's okay to like different things, have different interests. That's what makes us different. This is what makes us unique and different. A lot of family always say, Coach Tony, how do we stand out? Right? And I'm like, what are you doing now? I'm like, oh, I'm doing computer science, I'm coding, I'm doing hackathons, I'm doing robotics club, I'm Java programming. That's all too, right? I'm like, cool. So does every other person who's doing this, right? So what are you doing outside of all this as well? And that's going to be one of the big things, right? There is no set list of activities that gets you in anywhere. Oof. Let's go ahead and bold that, italicize that as well too. There's no set list of activities that gets you anywhere, meaning there's no such thing as an Ivy list that like, hey, you have this, you're good. Because I bet you there's students with that same exact list who got rejected, right? Vice versa, there's people with just regular clubs and stuff that do get in, right? And I have 16 years of experience of students who have that proved this exactly to the point. Our kids who ended up at the Ivies last year, there is zero activity. I mean, maybe a few, right? Maybe a few things between certain students, but between all of our Ivy kids, they have zero things in common. All of them put together. Again, within pockets, there's things that they have in common between pockets of people, but between every single person, nothing. Not like it's not like everyone did this exact thing, right? So to answer the question really quickly, what is the thing that you need, right? We tell students do one of two activities, do one of two activities, right? Number one, do things you love is number one. And the second thing, do things you think you like is number two. That's it. Those are the two things, right? All of our kids that ended up at top schools. Think of UCLA, Berkeley, Stanford, USC, Caltech, NYU, all these schools, right? Think of the Ivies. When you asked our students, hey, what did all these activities have in common? What'd you do? It was one of these two things. Hey, I love this thing. This is who I am. That's why I do it. And number two, I think I like this. I started doing it and it became, right? And sometimes this number two could lead to a number one, right? Something you like can turn to something you actually love as well too. That's gonna be the biggest thing. So when it comes, first answer for you guys, right? What clubs, right? Do these. What clubs should your child do? Right? Focus on this first. What you ask them, what do you like to do? What do you love to do? Who is it who you are, right? That is the first thing. Go ahead and do that. Number two, what do you think you like? People get this myth, right? That whatever I do, I have to do all 4 years as well too. Again, can you? Sure, right? Can you? Sure. And again, hopefully the things you do like, you do it, you do it all 4 years there. However, right? Adults, parents who are watching this right now, right? Is there things, think back last 4 years. Are there things 4 years ago that you did, that you don't do today? Think back 4 years ago. It is 2020, right? The year that must not be named, right? 2020. Did you do things in 2020 that you currently do not do today? A few people, yes, right? I don't, right? As well too. Exactly. As humans, we evolve. We have different interests. We do different things as well too. So if you stop something, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We have a few students every year. They're like, "Oh, you know what? I've been doing this for a few years. I don't think I like it anymore." We ask them why. Well, why don't you like it? And they told me I like this other thing instead. I like this other thing instead of this thing. Awesome. In that case, go ahead and do that new thing, right? So when it comes to dropping something, right? You want to replace. You do not want to just drop it and be like, that's it. I'm good. No, so students who are dropping anything, they're still adding something in lieu of that. All right. That's gonna be the biggest thing here. Okay. Now, going back, in case you don't know what you like, really quick, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up really fast. I have a doc that I pulled up of clubs, right? Here you go. It's a list of 900. Let me see if I can pull it up, you guys. You guys can see it or not. There you go. You guys can see it now, right? It's a list of 900 clubs. It's 56 pages long. 56 pages long. Really quick, would it be okay if I send this to you guys? Right? It's a list of over 900 clubs, right? Over 900 clubs, in case you are not sure what you want to do, right? So again, I'm going to drop resource freebie is 900 clubs, right? And so what you do, right, with this list is, again, if you're going through and if use this as a way to brainstorm ideas of potential clubs to join, or, and this will hit our next topic, or use this as a way to brainstorm ideas of potential clubs to start. And that's going to be the next big thing for us, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this, copy, all right? Pew, all right. Right, resource 100 clubs, right? So the big thing that colleges are looking for. So what is the Ivy League looking for? Again, so if they're not looking for a specific activity, what are they looking for, right? Colleges, Ivy plus colleges, right? Top colleges are looking for a few things. Number one, they're looking for leadership, right? Leadership. We'll talk about that a little bit. They're looking for impact, and they're looking for uniqueness, right? So these are the three things that, in addition to every single thing else that you are doing already, these are the three things that you are also in addition looking for. So let's talk about leadership first, right? So when it comes to leadership specifically, the biggest thing to understand is it can be two forms, right? There's two forms. The first form is formal leadership, and the second one is informal leadership, right? Formal leadership is going to be like the typical roles that you see a lot, right? For example, president, secretary, founder, right? Etc. Right? These are the typical roles that you see a lot of people love to brag about, like, oh, I got this role, this and that as well too. There's also another type of role called informal leadership, right? So for example, if you guys think of, like, let's say you're volunteering, right? You're volunteering at a certain event. And then again, the lead person's not there, but in that small group, you step up and you help control the group. You help give direction to what you're doing, because again, people are going to look at somebody as well too. They're going to look for somebody there too, right? So the biggest thing here when it comes to informal, these are things that these are actual specific examples that you displayed leadership qualities, right? Leadership traits and qualities, right? So it doesn't have to be a job title. You don't have, again, do you need a job title to do stuff, right? Leaders Our leaders lead, right? It's kind of the one thing. That's again, leaders lead. That's the big thing. You don't need a title, right, to do stuff. If you're jumping in, if something happens, you'll see that naturally will step in and do things because that's who they are. We call that informal leadership. You can share both of these on your college application itself. Again, most people only think of that first one, right? The first one, again, which is again good to aim for as well, too. The president, secretary, founder, these are very understandable roles that people do, right? Again, we talked about founder. Boom, going back, ideas to start. We'll talk about it a little bit as well, too, right? Founder there. So leadership is one of the big components that college is looking for. Second thing is impact, right? Impact's a big thing that we talk about a lot with our students, right? Impact is who are you influencing, right? As well, too. Let's say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and bounce a ball, right? You bounce a ball as well, too. That's you. You're affecting yourself. You just get better yourself at this. Impact is like, think of it as the ripple, right? How big is your ripple of people you are influencing, right? Or affecting as well too, right? So for example, let's say you say, hey, I'm gonna go and again practice basketball on my own, right? That's you on your own. Let's say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and help my team win basketball, right? In my basketball team, right? Because that's his example, right? Example, practicing level 1, right? Practicing basketball by yourself, right? So again, you're still doing something. It's not you're doing nothing. So that is an activity, right? But you're just doing it by yourself, right? There's not a lot of impact per se. Number 2, let's say you're a team captain and you helped your team win states, right? In basketball, right? Now you're affecting a bigger group. You're affecting a bigger group itself too. Okay. Now the last thing, all right, let's say how bigger can we go? How much more impact can we do? Let's say you start a basketball league for elementary school students, in your city, right? Because they don't have one currently, right? But because you love basketball, you do that, right? Again, how much more impact can you do? Let's say you go ahead and instead of that, you also go a step ahead, you create a basketball training program, right? An online basketball training program, right? That any student with internet access can watch and practice on their own. How big of a ripple effect can this be, right? So when it comes to impact, is how many people are you impacting here? And colleges like to see very, very big ones, right? Last one is very based on the name, uniqueness, right? How unique is your thing, right? Again, let's go back to this example right here. How many people can play basketball, can dribble a basketball by yourself? Right? A lot of people, right, can do this as well too. Now, basketball teams, right? How many students are gonna talk about basketball is the biggest thing here too, right? That's probably a lot, right? A lot of things here, right? That's the next piece of the game. Then, right, the next piece after that, right? Next piece after that is gonna be a basketball. How many students create this? Ooh, now you can becoming that one person, right? Again, basically, how many other people can say the same thing, right? People again. I did research, Coach Tony. I'm like, cool. How many other kids have done research? I did an internship. Cool. How many other students have done internships? So the big thing is you want to be super unique, right? And saying, hey, not many people can actually say they've done this because again, you want to stay in that I call it the sea of one. You're the only one that they know who can say and do this thing. Again, so the more niche, the more nuanced you are, the easier it is to be unique. That being said, there is something I'm going to share a little bit and tease you guys a little bit. We have like 3 minutes left. There is something that we do recommend our students do that hits every single thing here. It does clubs, it hits their leadership, the impact, and the uniqueness, right? Introducing personal projects. This is something a lot of our coaching students have been doing with us, and we've been helping them grow this as well too. So what is a personal project, right? A lot of you guys know these as passion projects, right? As passion projects as well, too. You guys know, oh my God, yes, I know what passion projects are. I never liked the word passion projects. The reason why I never liked the word passion projects, most students have no clue, what they're passionate about yet, right? So again, you're still young, have no clue. So what does this end up? This ends up, right? This ends up being, right, what looks good for college. That's pretty much what it ends up being. Right? Well, looks good for college. Let me do that. Right? That's not exactly the right approach on this because, again, how many other kids are going to think of that? So instead, why we call it a personal project is we start at you, the you factor, right? What is personal to you, right? That's the biggest thing here because, again, students might not know what they're passionate about, but they do know who they are and they do know things that affect them on who they are here, right? So we're going to start with something that is personal to you, right? Then we're going to tell our students, why is that so important to you? Right? You talk about, oh, I love, let's say I started tutoring, right? I started tutoring, loved it. I'm like, cool. Why is that so important to me? And we start to dig for students, kind of why as well. For those of you guys who don't know my story, right? That's kind of how I got started in this whole kind of industry is I needed to work, right? My parents didn't have a lot of income growing up. So for me, I'm like, let me go ahead and find a job and take care of myself, take care of my family if I can as well too. I applied. No one said yes. No one even interviewed me, right? I got straight up no's from everyone. So I'm like, cool. I didn't have any opportunities. So instead, I'm like, I'm good at math. I think I'm good at teaching as well too. I help out with volunteers, so I'm good. I wonder if I can be a tutor, and I became my own tutor here, right? So for me, it's important to me because not only did I find something that I'm good at, it was able to help me take care of my parents as well too, take care of myself. That's the big thing why it's important to me, right? This is gonna drive me because this, right, is the most important component factor because this is what's going to push you to finish and keep going, right? A lot of people start and never finish their projects, right? Not saying it's a good or bad thing. It's just that's reality, right? As well too. So you want to understand why is it important to you, and why would others want this, and why would others want to help you, right? That's the biggest thing. And again, what we're going to do is create that ripple effect, that impact on other people. So once you have this, you build whatever it is. There's no right or wrong way, here, right? It's basically whatever it is. A few examples for you. We just went through a personal project kind of incubator that we just finished up. So I call it personal project incubator, where I worked with students and I helped them kind of create their ideas. Incubator, right? I helped them create their ideas, and they went ahead and got their project kind of started with us, right? So here's a few of the projects to get you guys kind of excited as well too. One of our students, he played tennis, right? He played tennis. That was something that's really personal to him, and I was like asking him what's important about it. He told me that story. So what the personal project ended up being for him, or and then I missed one. Why other ones? So what do you want to do, right? So what are you going to do? And how are you leaving your mark as well too? So what the student did is he created a donation drive where he collected tennis balls, right? Because fun fact, country clubs, they use it for a few times, they use a new ball, right? Every few times they use a new ball there, right? So this student, he collected these balls in the month that we started together. He collected over 5,000 balls, right? 5,000 balls, and he sent them to be repurposed so that other people can use them because they're still good balls. They're not bad. That's protocol of the country club that he was at, that they use new balls every few times, right? So he's like, hey, I wanted this, and what we're doing is we're helping make it a national thing. How many other groups can do the same thing there, right? That's one really cool one. Another one of my students, she's currently, I think, Emory right now. She's just graduated, and then so one of her personal projects, business, right? She did business. We asked her, what do you like to do? She loved watching Shark Tank, the show. So what she did was she created a Shark Tank summer camp, right? The summer camp for middle school students because she learned business when she was in middle school. So you can see how it all ties together, right? So she created that there. And then doing so, right, she was able to impact and help dozens of students learn about business. Their final project was a Shark Tank pitch as well too. So again, how many people do you know put together their own summer camp run by students, right, that have this? Again, so unique. Again, let's hit through what college look on. Number one, leadership. You are starting these projects. Boom, leadership is hit there. Number two, impact. Again, we're starting with what do you want to do to help others, do with others. Boom, impact is there. Uniqueness. Again, we help persons what's so special to you, and they create their own project from scratch. We're not copying anyone else doing anything. We're creating a unique story just for them. You hit the factors that colleges are looking for in this project right over here. So that being said, I have a little proposal for anyone who's interested. We do something called the Personal Project Incubator. In the incubator, you get to work directly with myself, and I will help your students start and get to as far as they can in 30 days. It's an incubator, it's fast, it's intense. Our goal is to get them to a working product in the end of 30 days. And it's free. So if you guys are interested in joining the incubator, here's what I will have you guys do really quick. I'm gonna give you guys a phone number to text, right? I don't have the link on me. Oops, I don't have the number on me, but if you guys want to text our team, they will go ahead and send you the link to join, right? So if you guys want to go ahead and I'm sending it in the chat right now. Oops, nope, wrong one, right? Text the word PPI, right? So if you want to go ahead and text PPI to 415-938-8721, right? They'll go ahead and send you the registration link to join. People are texting in the chat. Don't text it in the Zoom. Text message me. Send me a text message, not me. Send our team, that's our team number. Go ahead and send our team the word PPI to 415-938-8721. They're going to go ahead and get you guys connected with this, and you can go ahead and join. You'll be joining the October cohort. So this month is full, but you'll be joining next month's cohort. It starts on first week of October. So go ahead and join there. And then you'll be working directly with me, and it'll be a mix of a self-paced plus like asynchronous feedback from me to help you guys out with this journey here. Okay. That is pretty much it for me today. I think we've had a few questions here. How can we access this document? You guys can't. If you guys want to go ahead here, I'll give you guys access to it. Anyone? Drop in the chat. If anyone who's watching the replay wants to just text our team notes or the notes for this call, and they'll grab you the notes as well too. Do awards count for the application? Yes, right? So all the awards count on the Common App. There's gonna be a section for academic awards. You add those academic awards there. And then you have up to 5 academic awards specifically. Someone said, I'm so scared, haven't done anything crazy in my life, aren't perfect, don't want to end up going to community college. Hold on, right? So again, that's nothing wrong with going to a local college, right? Again, one thing I would encourage this student to think about is, again, don't let these things define who you are. Again, of course, I'm a coach. I love you guys to be ambitious as much as possible. There's nothing wrong though with a local school. How many people said, oh man, I wish I went to this school? No, it matters because, again, your people around you make you feel that way, but skip ahead 20, 30 years, doesn't really matter there, okay? Student says, you want to start a nonprofit? Again, do you have to start a nonprofit? I would beg to differ. I don't think you need to. Just start a group, a project that helps people, right? Is the biggest one. People start nonprofits, but it's one of those things that it's people say nonprofit, but you'll end up stopping it, right? If you start a nonprofit, I expect you to continue it for the next 10, 20 years. But if you're doing it for college, again, that's kind of defeating the purpose. You're trying to cheat the system a little bit and do things to look good for college, which, again, that's not the right intention. Just do a project. There's nothing different behind it between the two of them there, right? Music competition to gain scholarship counts. I'm not sure it's related to this topic or it's separate as well too, right? There are scholarships related to music competition. So if you are musically inclined, go for it. Next one has personal goals. I want to go to a good school. good is relative, right? Good is relative as well too. I think every school is good if it's still accredited. It's a good school. Is the biggest thing there. Does Girl Scouts count for an activity? Yes, you can definitely share the activity hours that you spend on Girl Scouts, so that's definitely a fair game to share there. How can I stand out for UCLA being an out-of-state student for a competitive district? So you're competing for the 18% of spots that the UCs have for out-of-state families. So again, going back, there's three main things you got to focus on: academics, activities, and the application itself, right? When it comes to academics, I don't really care about GPA. A lot of people focus on GPA. I care about the rigor of your schedule, making your rigor schedule is really, really strong. Activities, do exactly what I told you today, right? Application, share who you are, not what you did. Those are the three core things. But if you're interested in a free little assessment for your family, go ahead and just gonna text our team, type like the word book, right? If you guys are interested in want a 15-minute assessment to see where you're at. You're at text book, right? Just text the word book, and our team can help you guys set up a time with our team to talk about that. Okay. Cool. Perfect. That's pretty much it for me today. Looks like the questions are done. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, biggest thing, if you guys are interested, definitely join PPI next month. Super, super awesome thing there. Okay. That's pretty much it for me. Hope you guys had a great rest of your evening. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Chat soon, friends.